So you were in Saudi Arabia, you were ambassador there. I just want to ask you about Saudi Arabia and Pakistan defense agreement. There's a whole lot of conversation regarding that if Operation Sindoor happens and now that Saudi Arabia is a guarantor of security to Pakistan, what now? Because in Pakistan, all the YouTube conversations that one sees, they all say that अरे अब अगर हिंदुस्तान हम पर हमला करेगा तो सऊदी अरेबिया को
Saudi Arabia क्या करेगा? You tell me with respect. Let us not get carried away. Saudi Arabia has a very different relationship with Pakistan from the one it has with us. As part of the Cold War alliance, Pakistan was with the Saudis and the United States.
Yeah, okay.
This was the triangular
Axis, yes.
relationship. They had similar military equipment. Since Saudi Arabia is such a large country, Pakistani armed forces were actually located there in the early days from 68 to 88. For 20 years, 25,000 soldiers were kept there. Pakistan is the go-to country whenever Saudi Arabia feels insecure. It has happened. For example, in 88, Pakistani troops left the country, but they came in 91 when the Gulf War began because there was a concern in Riyadh that Iraqi troops might come. Then they left once that was over. Then you had another crisis in the region with the Houthis in 2010. The Houthis came across the border and killed large number of Saudi soldiers. So the Pakistanis were called initially at battalion strength and then perhaps brigade and maybe now a division. We don't know. They are at the Yemen border. Pakistan's doctrine includes protection of Saudi Arabia's holy sites.
Okay.
It does not allow for participation in Saudi Arabia's aggressive posture. So Pakistani
Yemen and all the
troops
others.
were not utilized for Yemen. Now when Saudi Arabia, after the attack on Doha, Saudi Arabia felt insecure, it turned to Pakistan. Now, the agreement has not been publicized. We do not know what are the terms and conditions involved. We do not know what is the role of the Pakistani troops. We do not know who will fund what and where, how many will be deployed, where will they be located, etc. None of that is known. My own feeling is it is part of an old relationship, completely different from the ties the kingdom has with India, where the Pakistanis are available in case Saudi Arabia is attacked.
But now it's the other way around. Is Saudi Arabia going to be available?
It
Their
is not.
resources?
Firstly, this suited South Pakistan. Now, you must also look at a little bit of the Pakistani background. They have been a pariah country for very long. Then you had Op Sindoor and you had the role of Donald Trump. Certain things happened and Donald Trump was persuaded to be more friendly with the Pakistanis than with the Indian. India is a country with principles and values, what have you, and Pakistan is a completely turn around and do anything for the Americans. So their general or field marshal had lunch with Donald Trump. I attach no value. This is symbolic value, very important for domestic purpose. Now, may I ask one question to all the brethren who are speaking up? What is Saudi Arabia supposed to do for Pakistan against India? I do not envisage any scenario whatsoever where Saudi troops will cross the Gulf into Pakistan and stand shoulder to shoulder. This is an agreement for Pakistan to provide security, sense of security to the Saudis. Now, the crucial question that we should be asking is not the one whether Saudi troops will go. Saudi troops are of no credible value. The nuclear issue. The considered view, and I am part of that, is that no actual transfer of nuclear weapons will actually take place from Pakistan to Saudi Arabia. Why? Because then Pakistan becomes a target. After all, Israel knows about the Pakistani capability. This was part of the United States' amoral policy of allowing its own allies to develop nuclear weapons in violation of the NPT. 3 countries developed nuclear weapons at that time under American tutelage: Pakistan, Israel, and apartheid South Africa. When apartheid South Africa changed, they did away with the nuclear weapons and removed the scientists. Pakistan and Israel have nuclear weapons under American tutelage. Israel will not attack Pakistan because it's completely comforted by the thought and by the proclamation that Pakistan's nuclear weapons are directed at India. The minute Israel gets any indication
That Saudi Arabia
that
gets
that nuclear weaponry is available for export, Pakistan will become a target for the Israelis, as will become Saudi Arabia.
We have.
So I don't believe either of them is going to shift any nuclear weapon.
So how is the Middle East looking at India-Pakistan conflict now, post Operation Sindoor? I don't even want to say post because
It's still
technically we are
ongoing.
still ongoing, supposedly.
The thing is,
so how are these
what
countries
the
looking?
region has always conveyed to us from the highest level, from the king downwards, just settle this issue. Just settle this issue. It has gone on for far too long. None of us understands what's at stake. It's been going on from 47. But it is a source of insecurity and instability in the region. It has given rise to extremism and violence. That extremism threatens us. Both of you are dear to us. But more importantly, both of you are children of the same mother. Why can't you just sit together and resolve this matter? You see, now you can say what you wish. After Mumbai attack, these Saudis and other Gulf countries have fully understood that Pakistan is the fountainhead of extremist Islam and violent extremist Islam, right? They know it. Before that, there were doubts connected with Kashmir, etc. But you know, the Mumbai attack had absolutely nothing to do with the Kashmir issue. It had all to do with jihad. They know this. Jihad is even more dangerous for them. Why did India and the Gulf become so close to each other after Mumbai? When Manmohan Singh went and we had the strategic partnership agreement, it is because of Mumbai. The fear that extremism is today spreading all across the region, and if India could be attacked so lethally with all its navy and the coast guard, what about us? A, we are closer to Karachi. B, we don't have a navy or a coast guard worth the name. And therefore, India has become an important partner in counterterrorism. So I think that is where we should be focused on rather than worrying the Saudi troops. The Saudi troops have been fighting the poor Houthis for the last 10 years and they have no progress to show worthwhile. So none of that is going to happen.
This fight against terrorism, this counter-terrorism partnerships that India has with many Gulf countries, explain how Saudi Arabia is changing and how the Middle East is changing also with regard to their fight with on terrorism issue and anti-jihad measures.
See,
Are they adapting to modernism, moving away from those concepts of radical Islam?
No Gulf country ever supported radical Islam.
Okay.
The idea that we could use jihad against the communists is a product of United States, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan sitting together and taking the short-term measure of utilizing faith. It is, you can say if it's a failure, it is a failure of all the three countries. Because jihad, once incited, cannot go back it cannot go away. It will be with us. And as you know, once the Soviet Union withdrew, jihad declared victory and turned on its parents. Attacked Saudi Arabia in the 90s, attacked American targets in the 90s, and finally attacked the United States. Pakistan itself has become absolutely, has got numerous jihadi networks within the country, many of them sponsored by the ISI, and some of them working against the Pakistani armed forces in the shape of the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. After the global jihad was done, the countries of the Gulf turned against mobilization of Islam for political purposes. See, they are monarchies. They are authoritarian systems. It's very easy for them to give up one policy and pursue another. And that is what happened. So they have become very harsh against any sign of of mobilization on the basis of Islam. And therefore, now, as you know, over the last 10 years, Saudi Arabia has turned its back on Wahhabiyya. It has now espouses moderate Islam. They have turned, UAE, Saudi Arabia, and many other Gulf countries have turned against the Muslim Brotherhood. And every one of them, every Arab country has turned against jihad. So, though jihad, you know how it happens. Now, the second time you had jihad, Americans attack Iraq, empower the Shia. There is a Sunni uprising which takes the shape of jihad and becomes the Islamic State. So these are reactions to certain specific events. It's not inherent either in the region or the faith that you have this extremist streak. How come for several hundred years you never had extremism? It is because of American penetration into the political order. This is the background to this. They are all of them authoritarian. This is the key to understanding that. They have no concerns about faith. They have no concerns about liberalism. They run an order that prioritizes the survival of the regime. In order to ensure this, their approach is to provide their people with security and welfare, which includes employment and everything. The wealth they have is passed on. In return, they demand from their people loyalty and obedience, which they get. All control over policy making is with the royal family and with the ruler as such. Now, they have to constantly respond to challenges that emerge in the region because it's a very volatile region, rather insecure, too many things happening at the same time, too many players emerging at suddenly, which you don't expect. This spring, the Arab Spring. Nobody expected, and yet 4 rulers were out and another 4 later in the decade. You had the problem of the rise of jihad, of Al-Qaeda, the rise of the Islamic State. All of these are matters that happen in a specific set of circumstances. And then you have Israel, the perennial issue from 1948, because they will not address the Palestine issue and the aspirations of the Palestinians. You have that. So it's a very, very fragile and vulnerable region. And the royal family has to constantly maneuver within the complex shoals that are within their political order and ensure that they survive.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching ANI podcast with Smita Prakash.
अगर हम उसको मस्जिद कहेंगे तो फिर विवाद होगा।
The issue is टूटा है क्या भारत?
400 पार का मतलब ये है कि संविधान खतरे में है।
क्या हम लोग ये निर्देश देते हैं कि फला को गिरफ्तार करके जेल डाल दें?
वही तो कह रहे हैं सब।
ये बेबुनियाद निराधार आरोप।
सच्चा सुनना चाहो देखो स्मिता प्रकाश ANI, it does not lie.